All right, so hello to our friends on Zoom and our friends in the room. I'm Caroline from SciStarter. I'm absolutely delighted to be here today. And we are here because we're celebrating DNA Day. How exciting! Woo! A huge thank you to our hosts, the Alachua County Public Library, to our friends from the Network of the National Library of Medicine, and the All of Us Research Program who helped make this program possible. And of course, I'm from SciStarter, and SciStarter is the coordinator of Citizen Science Month, which you can discover at citizensciencemonth.org. Okay, so first and foremost, before I pass the mic to another person named Caroline, who's going to be talking about genealogy today, I'm going to do a quick intro on what citizen science is, because today's program has a two-pronged focus. We got the citizen science focus, and we got a genealogy focus. And it all comes together along the themes of DNA, genetics, genealogy, that big umbrella of stuff in relation to DNA and DNA Day. So citizen science is basically any way a member of the public meaningfully advances scientific research, usually by collecting or analyzing data. And data can be words and pictures. Data can be, pictures that you take with your smartphone. Data can be measurements that you take. If you go outside and use a water quality test kit and submit that to a research project, you're doing citizen science. Data can be surveys that you fill out about your health, like the ones you do with the All of Us research program. That's citizen science as well. And the list goes on and on and on. Citizen science is a really diverse field. It goes by a few different names. I've heard people call it neighborhood science, community science, participatory science, but it's basically any way a member of the public, so that's everybody, anyone can be a citizen scientist, anybody of any age, anywhere in the world, any way a person turns their curiosity about the world into real scientific impact. And SciStarter, we are the world's biggest citizen science organization. So there are a lot of different components. We work with a lot of different partners from around the world. But I would say the core of the site is our project finder. On that project finder, if you go to scistarter.org, you can find real science you can do. So I'm not talking about these projects today. I'll focus on Eterna in a little bit. But we have projects like Stall Catchers, where you can play an online game and make annotations for Alzheimer's researchers of blood vessels in the brains of mice and help them understand Alzheimer's disease. It's called Stall Catchers because you're catching the stalled blood vessels. And then there's Globe at Night, which is a light pollution project where you can monitor a constellation in the night sky and help astronomers understand if our view of the night sky is obscured by things like streetlights. Super important project. Light pollution has a lot of different public health impacts. So for our friends in the room with us, I have bookmarks for both these projects on the table, and our friends online can also tune into this as well. So the All of Us Research Program is a national program. And part of the reason why we're here today, I just wanted to say a few words about it. So All of Us is building the largest and most diverse health database of its kind. If you go to joinallofus.org/CSM24, you can, and that's case sensitive for the final part, so make sure you do that. You can take surveys, and you might even be able to submit some biosamples, depending on where you are in the world and where you're tuning in. So those biosamples can be like blood, for example. When I participated, I gave a blood sample. And All of Us is really focused on the inclusion of historically underrepresented populations in biomedical research. So people of all ethnic backgrounds. I know we've been doing a lot of programming in Spanish to reach Spanish speakers, for example. Different gender backgrounds. All of Us wants to make sure everyone is included in healthcare research. And they've already had some really interesting outcomes in terms of different treatments, because the more data we have about different types of people, the better our treatments can be for different diseases for all people. So yes, the slogan for All of Us is the future of health begins with you. And the more researchers know about what makes each of us unique, the more tailored our healthcare can be. And I have a quick video to play. I'll make sure I'm sharing my sound. And I wasn't, so I'm really glad I checked. To introduce you to All of Us really quickly, and let me crank up the sound so everybody can hear it. All right, and we're going to roll the clip.
Meet Ray. Ray lives on a farm. He loves playing kickball with his grandkids, but lately he's gotten a little slower and been visiting the doctor a lot more often. This is Kim. Kim lives in the city. She loves to exercise, cook healthy meals, and can't remember the last time she called in sick. They're both people, but not all people are the same. And yet, when we visit the doctor, our treatments don't look that different. Why is that? Because we just don't have enough information to do it better until now. Enter All of Us. the research program based on precision medicine. Precision medicine is a revolutionary new approach to treating and preventing disease that's personalized instead of one size fits all. By gathering health data from 1 million people like Ray and Kim and Trevor and Samir, our country's best researchers will be able to develop treatments that are as unique and complex as we are. With this new information, doctors will have a better understanding of disease so they can innovate the next great breakthroughs in medicine. Once enough people join, suddenly everything changes. Information becomes clear, patterns emerge, and simple data transforms into life-saving knowledge. This means that Ray and Kim's children and their children's children can live longer, healthier lives. By becoming one of the first 1 million people to volunteer, you can help reshape the entire future of healthcare for generations to come. If we can figure out how to fly, put a man on the moon, and connect the entire world, surely we should be able to improve the future of healthcare. Not just for Ray and Kim or even you, but for all of us. Sign up at joinallofus.org. The future of health begins with you. Meet Ray. Ray lives on a farm.
We already met Ray. We also just had some more people join us in the room, so feel free to grab some snacks. And we also have our materials for the program. And for those of you who are watching online, if you're in Gainesville, there's still time to come on over here. We're going to be here for the next, 30, 40 minutes or so. But yeah, we are here today because of the partnership the Network at the National Library of Medicine has with all of us. And you can explore different NNLM resources on SciStarter if you go to scistarter.org/NLM. And then before I pass the mic to Caroline to talk to us about genealogy, and then I'll end with a citizen science project we can do related to DNA and genetics. It's all interconnected here. The theme for the month is 1 million acts of science. We actually just hit 1 million. So SciStarter was working with partners from around the world with support from Arizona State University, NNLM, and all of us. And we had people come to events like these. This counts as an act of science. We had people do citizen science projects like the Eterna project I'm going to show you later, or that Stall Catchers project I talked about. And it all added up to 1 million, which was very exciting for us. So we hit our goal of 1 million acts of science. But that being said, let's not stop. Why don't we do 2 million? You can do citizen science year round, not just during Citizen Science Month in April. All right. So before I get to today's project with Eterna, I'm going to exit this and I'm going to pull up Caroline's slides so she can tell us a little bit about the work she does at the Alachua County Public Library. So, all right, here we go. And I'll give you the mic here, and if you just hold it, you'll be good to go. All right.
Just getting my notes up so that I can see
Press
them.
the forward arrows if you want. Sorry. And the people on Zoom will see the notes.
They'll see the notes?
Yeah. That's okay.
Well, it's going to have to be that
Yeah,
way.
we'll give them a little preview. All good.
All righty. So welcome to today's presentation on DNA and genealogy, where we'll explore how advancements in DNA analysis have revolutionized the field of tracing family roots. My name is Caroline, and I'm the genealogy librarian for the Alachua County Library District. So genealogy is the study of family history and lineage, tracing relationships between individuals across generations. Traditionally, genealogists relied on historical records, oral history, and archival documents to build family trees. This is my dad's family tree, so you'll know what one looks like. So DNA testing has added a new dimension to genealogical research, providing a powerful tool. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. A powerful tool to confirm relationships and discover previously unknown connections. Through DNA analysis, individuals can uncover their genetic heritage and find relatives that they may not have known existed. So types of DNA used in genealogy are these three. I told myself I was not going to be able to say these words, and I've jinxed myself. Autosomal DNA, I said it wrong, is inherited from both parents and provides information about recent ancestry. Y DNA is passed down from father to son and is used to trace direct paternal lines. Mitochondria. See, here I go. I jinxed myself. I knew I was going to do this. So, mitochondrial DNA is passed down from mother to both sons and daughters, tracing direct maternal lines. So, autosomal DNA tests analyze chromosomes 1 through 22, providing information about recent ancestry within the past 5 to 6 generations. It can identify cousins, estimate ethnicity, and reveal genetic traits inherited from ancestors. Y-DNA focuses, that's the easy one, tests focuses on the Y chromosome passed down from fathers to sons unchanged. It is useful for tracing direct paternal lines, surname studies, and determining ancient ancestry. Surname studies is tracing all people with the same last names, regardless of relationship. That what they're figuring is that everybody comes from the same common ancestor. That's why they're studying it. They really 100% don't know. Mitochondrial testing examines the mitochondrial DNA inherited from the mother and remains largely unchanged through generations. The mtDNA, which is what mitochondrial, the shortcut for that is, can be taken, tests can be taken by both males and females because everyone inherits their mtDNA from their mother, as the mitochondrial DNA is located in the egg cell. It traces direct maternal lines and can reveal deep ancestral origins, particularly useful for studying ancient migrations. So DNA testing involves collecting a sample, usually saliva or a cheek swab, and analyzing specific genetic markers. Results are compared to databases of other test takers to identify shared segments and potential relatives. Which test should you take? Well, it depends. If you want insight into your health data and possible diseases running in your family, opt for a test from 23andMe. For an in-depth look into family ancestry, including family migration history and access to a larger database, Ancestry's DNA autosomal test is the better choice. For Y-DNA, Family Tree DNA's Y test is the best. However, it costs almost $500. If you're just starting out, look at Ancestry or 23andMe. So applications for DNA in genealogy include confirming or disproving traditional genealogical research, which is paper, census, that kind of stuff. Breaking through brick walls and family trees. This is also known as a roadblock, a research barrier, or a dead end. A genealogy brick wall is when you can't go any further with your research on a specific ancestor. And in my case, it was my mom's dad. She had seen his birth certificate when she was young, and it said his last name was Brooks, but his last name was Scott. So she was pretty sure that he had been adopted or something. Well, I did find out recently, and I've been looking for this for years, when his mother married his stepfather, he was baptized and immediately took the stepfather's last name. So Brooks is her real last name. But, well, what can we do? So I'm stuck still on the brick wall, but I've gotten one step further. Now I need to find out who his biological father was. Might be impossible since they've all passed now. So the last step on this is discovering biological families for adoptees or individuals with unknown parentage. Understanding genetic health risk and inherited traits is another reason for using DNA in genealogy. So we have some ethical concerns in taking DNA tests, and a lot of people have problems with. The first is privacy, as DNA data is sensitive and should be handled with care to protect individuals' privacy. The second is informed consent, as individuals should understand the implications of DNA testing and the potential impact on their families. And the third consideration is unexpected results, as DNA testing might reveal surprises or family secrets requiring sensitivity and support. Might find out that your dad is not your real dad because, well, mom went somewhere she shouldn't have. So just take all these into consideration when you're doing your DNA test. So my DNA test has shown me the makeup of my ethnicity, and this is the 7 regions that my family comes from. So this is mother and father. France, 29%, Scotland, 22%. That's my mother's side. England and Northwestern Europe, 20%. That's also my mother's side. Ireland, 14%, paternal. Norway, 8%, maternal. Germanic Europe, 6%. And that consists of Austria, Germany, the Netherlands, and Switzerland, and Basque, 1%. That's my dad's side. So he's French and Basque, so Spanish and Spain. So people who lived in Spain and France in areas bordering the Bay of Biscay and encompassing the western foothills of the Pyrenees Mountains. That's where my dad came from. So this next image shows that I am genetically related to a total DNA match of 59,272 Ancestry DNA members, of which 1,135 matches are sharing their locations. Now, I haven't connected with all of these people yet, but I'm working on it. That's a lot. So these are my close DNA matches, and I've kind of blanked out the last names for privacy. The first person is my mother, Joyce. She's the Irish, Scotland, England part of my family. The next 3 are my children. Their father is German American, so they get a lot of their DNA from Austria and Germany. So, and after that are my niece and my nephews. So we've all taken DNA tests. And Roland is my first cousin. He's from my dad's oldest sisters. That's her son's son. I'll get that straight. So the more centimorgans you share, the closer the relationship. So the handout I've given you, well, it's on the table, will show you the percentages amount of centimorgans for each relationship. None of these are exact, but for the most part, my children will have 50% of my DNA and my husband's DNA. And this percentage goes down as your relationship goes further away. So this is a new thing that they have had in the last few months. My DNA connects me to one community here in the United States. I am from Southern Louisiana, and my ancestry is mostly French, English, and Scottish. A little bit of England thrown in there too. And when you go, I did my DNA through Ancestry, and they have a breakdown of areas where they've done some research in the people in that area. So I have 9 possible ancestor stories that were found in this region of Louisiana. And it just tells about different, like Mississippi River French settlers, Ascension and Assumption French settlers. Ascension is my mom's side of the family, even though she was really born in California. We don't hold that against her. So future directions for DNA technology in genealogy that will further refine ancestry estimates and improve matching algorithms, and integration of DNA testing with other data sources such as historical records and archaeological findings will enhance our understanding of human migration and population history. So our genealogy collection is located here at headquarters downtown on University, and we're on the 3rd floor. We have items from Florida and the surrounding states. We also have some items from the East Coast of the United States, some items listing soldiers from America's wars. If you search our catalog using the word genealogy, you'll find a listing of items in the reference stacks. These items cannot be checked out, but you can use them here at the library and can scan and photocopy pages you will need. Important to note is that the records include family histories, American county records, records to other Florida counties. This is census records, city directories, migrant ship, passenger list, and some military records. Take the time to peruse the shelves or our online catalog to see what is available. Our next thing is a few databases that we have subscriptions to, which are Ancestry Library Edition, and that can only be accessed in the library, but from any computer here. And you don't have to have a card. You can just sign into the computer with a guest pass if you need it. Heritage Quest can be accessed home or anywhere, and you will need to sign in with your library card for that one. The Heritage Collection is a database of over 1,100 pictures donated by patrons. The pictures cover Alachua County and have some very interesting pictures taken in the past. And if your family was here, we have a lot of pictures of people. And we're always looking, if we've named the wrong person, to get a good update on what the person is in the picture. Because I had that happen last year. Someone said, oh, they've named that person wrong. This is my aunt and her name is, and we changed it. So in conclusion, DNA testing has transformed genealogy, enabling individuals to uncover hidden connections, explore diverse ancestries, and reconstruct their family history in ways never before possible. As we continue to unlock the secrets encoded in our DNA, the tapestry of human lineage becomes increasingly rich and connected. If you need any help with your genealogical journey, you can contact me at the information on the screen. I will be thrilled to help you. And thank you very much. And that ends our presentation. Thank you.
I think we can ask you some questions if you're open to it. Sure. So I'll switch the slides over really quick to a Q&A slide. But that is awesome and very exciting. Okay, we'll just leave it up on this while we actually we can, yeah, we'll just leave the slide up while we ask questions. And for the folks online, if you have questions, don't be afraid to make your voice heard in the chat, and I will pose them to Caroline right here. So I'll kick it off, then we can get some from the physical room and some from the Zoom room. But you mentioned like how you've been investigating your own ancestry. How has that process enriched your life? Have there been any ways it's made it better? And here's the mic.
I found that the more I researched my dad's side, the more I identified with him. And although I look like my mother, I am my dad's kid. And so my Cajun, Southern Louisiana ancestry has just been fulfilled by finding out and finding out about the people. My family is all farmers, and I grew up on a farm, and I still have that farm in me, but I love the city.
Yeah.
But I still want to have a garden. Yeah. So I found that out. My mom's side, as they were both mostly English, I have lived in England, so I got to see where her people came from. So that was really nice.
Oh, that's lovely. I love it. So I definitely get confused with like the whole, I'm about to talk about a citizen science project where you're able to build RNA-based vaccines, which is kind of crazy that you can solve puzzles and do that online. But I get confused with this whole like DNA, RNA, genetic information thing. How does it pertain to, genealogy? Like, because I know DNA is like, it's the biological material inside of you that basically tells your body what to do, right? So we get our DNA from both of our parents. Like, I was looking at this chart and I was like puzzling about it because I was like, oh, why is your sibling only at 50%? Shouldn't it be like 100% because you both have the same parents? Or like,
it's 50% from each parent. So you're getting parts from your mom, you're getting parts from your dad.
Yeah.
And for the health part of that,
yeah.
I don't really know much about that because I shy away from science.
Yeah.
But for the genealogy part, what you're doing is you're finding out where you're from. Mm-hmm. We're all immigrants to this country. My mom's family came from England by way of Canada. Didn't know that. That's why I have a love of Canada.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. And then and I found that out since I've been exploring her side of the family. With my dad's side, we always knew that they came from Nova Scotia on my grandmother's side and from France and Spain on my dad's side.
Yeah.
So by doing my DNA, I'm not only finding people, but I'm finding where I came from.
Yeah.
And to me, that was very important. A lot of people don't care, but for those of us as do, we find out that we're more than who we are.
Yeah,
we have a lot of people on our back.
Yeah.
You know,
That's awesome.
that we're carrying forward with us. And I want my kids to know about my Cajun heritage, but I also want them to know about my mom's English and Irish and Scotland heritage. So and then they'll add their fathers into the mix, and then they'll go on and on and on. So hopefully we'll keep it going and alive.
Awesome. That's fantastic. It looks like we have a question, so I'll bring the mic over so the Zoom friends can hear us too.
This is a mic.
Yeah.
Okay. I got my DNA sequence through National Geographic's Genome Project. And what they did is they farmed the sequencing out to a company. The company did the complete sequence, but they only gave National Geographic a portion of it. And that's what National Geographic gave me and translated it to, geographical areas where, the genes came from. But I think I also got them to send me the complete sequence, which means nothing to me. I mean, I'd have to study to figure out what it means. Anyway, you have Ancestry, and that's where you did your family tree, right? So how can I get my information transferred into Ancestry so that I can do an ancestral search?
I'll pass the mic back. That is a great question.
And that's one that I probably can't 100% answer. You're going to have to get a hold of Ancestry and say, how can I upload this? Because you're going to have to pay a subscription to them. That's just the way it is. And then you'll load that file that they gave you up into their, there's a certain page that you'll upload that on there. And once you do that, they'll work their magic on the other end. So you'll definitely have to get a hold of Ancestry. Probably not the answer you want, but that's you got GED Match is also another place that you could upload that to, because it's raw data. I don't know how they do it because I've got mine and I haven't uploaded it there yet, but I will be doing it soon. It's called GED, all capital letters, Match. I don't really know much about it. I just found out about it from one of my coworkers. So, and what you do is you put that up there, and then other people can look at your DNA stuff and see if they can match with you.
Cool. So I think that's a good lead, though, getting in touch with Ancestry.com, getting in touch with these GED Match folks, and hopefully they'll be able to get you all sorted. Good stuff. Any more questions, maybe from Robert, Elaine, any of the other folks who have joined us for Caroline? I guess in closing for a question, do you have any final tips and tricks you want to share with us? We really want to investigate this genealogy thing like you have.
The most important thing to do is don't just go online, go to Ancestry, FamilySearch.org, or whoever, and believe what they say. Always make sure that you can back everything up with research. So you're looking, you've talked to your family that's still alive and you've gotten tips or who their family is. You're going online, you're looking at the census, make sure that everything matches. Your dates are approximate. So they, within 1 or 2 years, if they're 10 years off, that's not related to you. Because I once saw a tree by someone who pertained to be related to my mother's dad. But he had those kids when he was -5. Not, and it said it right there, -5. That's the clue that they were on the wrong track. So just be careful. You can't have negative kids. You can't be negative to have those kids.
Yeah.
So just be careful. Excuse
Oh
me.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I have another concern.
Sure.
Yeah.
With the information, I mean, I have also information about, my parents and grandparents and great grandparents on my mother's side and a little bit on my father's side. So can you help me with that? And also the Mormons have a big database because
FamilySearch.org.
they like to pray for people to make sure they get in, the numbers so they have their space in heaven or something like that. Right? That's why they do it. Have you used their database at all?
Yes. I've been on FamilySearch.org and again, taken everything with a grain of salt, but I've taken those hints and gone and looked and found paper copies. Also, the Family History Center on Northwest 24th, I believe it is. Call them and make an appointment, and you can go there, use their computers, and access all their databases that are located in Salt Lake City. Great people run that. They're willing to work with you, but they do want you to call and make an appointment because they're not open all the time, or they weren't last month when I talked with them. So just give them a call. You can do a Google search on them, and they're wonderful people.
Awesome.
Chip and his wife.
So if I look up, I find it. I could Google it. Okay, thanks.
Cool. Oh, we have a question. Yes.
Is FamilySearch.org one word?
One word.
FamilySearch.org. All right.
It's a great place. And that one's free. So you don't have to pay for that one. But again, be very careful. And any trees you put on there, anybody can mess with them. So people have messed with mine on there. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know my dad and that's not his name because I knew him.
Yeah.
So just be careful,
Wow.
Yeah.
People are messing with your dad's family tree, it sounds
Well,
like.
they mess with a lot of them. They think that they know, like they tried to put a French on
Oh.
my dad's. His name was Day, D-A-Y.
Yeah.
And they tried to name him something else. And
Yeah.
Joseph was spelt the French way and not the American way.
Mm.
And then come to find out after he passed, we found out his name was actually Joseph, the Irish way, and D-A-I for his middle name because the priest didn't like his first name being Day.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, didn't know it until he passed.
Oh
He
my
passed when he was
gosh.
70. Yeah, 70 years he went by the wrong name.
Wow. Family search or GED?
GED match, all one word.
GED match, everybody. Good stuff.
Mhm.
So it sounds very culturally enriching, I think, just to investigate these. Yeah.
Well, you learn so much more about who you are because we're all bits and pieces of our past,
Mhm.
of our family in the past, and even if we didn't know them, you find that you're really finding that you really know them. At least, like my family, where we were on the same land for 200 years before Louisiana became part of the United States. We've had that land, and when I went to do research on there, went all the way back. It's written in Spanish.
Wow.
No idea how to.
Yeah.
I have to find somebody to translate. I've been saying that for a year now.
You could get
when is
a
this?
historian at UF to help you with that.
Yeah.
Or maybe one of their, like, I think they have a Latin American collection.
That would be the person to help me because
Yeah.
I've got all these papers that I printed off when I was in Louisiana, and then I look at it and go, oh.
You're like, oh no. Well, with AI, or actually one thing you can do, this is a citizen science tie-in, everybody. Have you ever heard of Zooniverse before?
Zooniverse?
Yeah. So Zooniverse is a citizen science website where you can upload documentation, usually historical documents, to be transcribed. So the general public will transcribe them. So if you wanted to enlist volunteer help to help you transcribe and translate your historic documents, you could upload them all to Zooniverse, and a Spanish speaker could transcribe and digitize them for you. And you could also make it a system. You could set the project up so other people can do the same thing, because there have to be other people in the same boat where they have these historic documents about, their ancestry that they can't read or translate. So that's the beauty of citizen science. We can all come together, help solve problems. Zooniverse. It's on I'm here representing SciStarter, which is like the world's biggest citizen science org, and we have a number of Zooniverse projects listed on our site. But what I'm recommending Caroline do is start her own Zooniverse project. So
Very cool.
yeah,
I'll be doing that.
I can help you with it.
Okay.
I've set them up before. It can be a little complicated. It's easy to participate. So I've transcribed historic records for people as a volunteer. That's the easy part. Setting up the project and adding the records is the hard part. I can help you.
All right. I'll keep you up on that.
Cool. Yeah, go for it.
One more comment. You know, there's that PBS show about finding your roots or something like that, and they mostly do it for celebrities. But what does he do? I mean, he does a pretty good job when he traces their roots. So he must have a big.
He has a huge crew. He's got a lot of money to work with that on that program. So he can send people everywhere and to do the research or call them up. He's got a great network. So absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
I like it. That's a good inspirational message.
Thank you.
If the roots people can do it, we can do it. Yay. And we have all the library resources too, you know? Like we got the computers here, we got y'all's ancestry.com library subscription. UF is in our backyard and they're always a great resource. So yeah, this is exciting.
In the library alone, if you find that someone in your family wrote a book, you can do a search on our catalog, change it to OCLC as the database and find out where it is and do an interlibrary loan. And they will maybe not get the book to you, but they will look at what put an explanation on what you're looking for, and they will get those pages to you.
Cool. Interlibrary loan, everybody. That's a resource too. Exciting. Anything else you want to share with the group or any other last questions for Caroline?
It's the Family History Center on Northwest 24th Avenue, I believe. It's on the other side of 75. But
Cool.
It's the Family History Center. That's all you got to search for and you'll find it. Yeah.
Or is it run by Mormons in town?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yes, it
wow.
is.
Okay. Good to know.
I'm going to find it for you.
She's going to find it. No worries. This is good stuff. Yeah, that's the whole purpose of this event. So people can ask questions, get answers, get educated, all that good stuff.
So it's LBS, Family History Center. The address, let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
10600 Southwest 24th Avenue. Sorry, Southwest. And the zip is 32607. Just whenever you get there, I can repeat.
You don't have to believe in Moroni, the gold tablets.
You don't know. You just go there and say, hey, you're looking for.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know.
But it's good to clarify. It's good to clarify. Nice. And I want to check with our Zoom friends. If you all have any questions for Caroline, now's the time to get them in the chat so we can answer them. It feels weird because my name's Caroline too. I feel like I'm talking about myself in the third person. Yeah, go for it. Ask your question.
I'm a foster kid, so I'm just wondering, how do you is there any way to kind of look up anything in the history?
Do you know your parents' name? If you don't, you're going to have to do DNA. That's the only way to find out who you're related to. And then once you get your matches, you can start sending them messages like through Ancestry. That's the way I did it, through there, and see how you're related to them. And so ask questions.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I love the idea of being able to ask people questions.
Yeah.
And network and do all that good stuff.
Yeah. And if you need any help, I'll show you my ancestry and you can see how you can get a hold of them. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, I'll pull your contact info back up. Oh, perfect. Okay, she has the card too. And for people who just joined us in the room, feel free to grab some snacks. We have all our citizen science materials right there. I'm about to close out our program with a quick citizen science how-to. Hello. All right, so we're gonna wrap up real quick. I wanted to give you all a citizen science project on the theme, since Caroline just educated us about genealogy, which is awesome. So I'm going to talk to you really quickly about a citizen science project you can do from anywhere where you have access to the internet called Eterna. So if you want to participate in it, a great link is scistarter.org/education, and then you can just click on the Eterna icon. And if you make your email address with the same email, if you sign up for an Eterna account and use the same email address you might have for a SciStarter account, it all tracks back to your dashboard. If you want to volunteer for science a lot, it's a great way to do it. But basically, the premise of this project, I told you all what citizen science was earlier. It's any way a member of the public moves science forward, usually by collecting or analyzing data, and data is just information, right? This project is more on the analysis side. So basically, what it asks people to do is to solve puzzles to help design molecular medicines. So they were able to help design mRNA-based vaccines related to COVID. They are a very, very cool project that anybody can do. If you're a puzzler, if you like solving puzzles, it's a good one. There are other citizen science projects for the people who are in the physical room with us that I have on the table that are a little easier. There are some projects where you can count pollinators who visit a plant, for example, and you can, monitor their populations and see if like these bees and butterflies are doing well or if they might need our help. That's an easier project. So citizen science is for all skill levels. But if you want to get deep into something and actually like co-author really meaningful scientific papers, Eterna is a great one because basically you solve these puzzles. And then at Stanford School of Medicine, they give you some feedback. They're like, hey, that was interesting how you arranged the different RNA bases. Then you're able to work together with them on scientific papers. And you can even come up with your own research questions if you get really deep into it. But I have this video from the project leaders that I'm going to play right
now. Eterna is a puzzle-solving game that reveals the mysteries of one of the most powerful molecules in biology, RNA. RNA is the companion of DNA, taking genetic information and putting it to work inside our cells by folding into complex structures. Smart RNA has the potential to transform medicine, tackling some of the most prevalent and deadly diseases on the planet, like tuberculosis, malaria, and cancer. But scientists don't fully understand its behavior. That's where Eterna comes in. Players use the 4 nucleotides that make up RNA to design a pattern that forms into a target shape. As they progress, the puzzles become more complex, and the challenges reflect the mechanics of nature. After gaining experience, players reach the lab, where their designs are manufactured and tested at Stanford University, often tens of thousands at a time. The experimental results are then returned to the players, so they can improve their designs and become scientific collaborators, joining professional scientists on the frontiers of biochemistry.
So that's Eterna. So in a nutshell, it's and I thought it was good to spotlight because RNA and DNA go hand in hand. So why not talk about RNA on this momentous DNA day that we're celebrating today? But you design RNA, the best designs get voted on. Those that win are synthesized in the lab and experimented upon, and then you have some real results. So these are the people who evaluate your designs at Stanford. I always think it's nice to see the people you're actually helping, and they're very nice. I've worked with them for many years now, and they are awesome. And let's see, we'll make sure. So there have been over 60,000 citizen scientists. They call them players because you're playing a game really and solving a puzzle. And they really do encourage, they have had 34 scientific papers, which is huge. Like that's something that's the whole thing that scientists do. They live to publish papers, and these papers have research results that hopefully make the world a better place. So this is a very successful citizen science project you'd be joining. Okay, so the review, you saw a little bit of this in the video, but RNA, it's a tiny molecule in the cells of every living thing. They copy information from that DNA we've been talking about, and they use it to make things happen in your cells. So RNA is made up of 4 bases. So you see those little colored things on there. Those are the bases of RNA. The main difference between RNA and DNA is DNA has 2 strands. So you always see that double helix, right? Like the DNA bridge nearby. RNA has 1. it folds into a shape that determines its function, and the shape is defined by the pattern of the bases. So that's where the puzzling comes from. You're making the different shapes on this online game. So RNA shapes can be simple or they can be very complex, but there's a lot we don't know about RNA. So if we want to design an RNA to fold into a specific shape or perform a certain function, it can be really difficult. And even supercomputers have a hard time with it, which is why we still need you all. The number one question I get for these online citizen science projects is, why can't AI just do it? Or why can't a robot do this? It's because it's too hard for robots. We need your brains to help us design these RNA shapes and match the bases together. So each puzzle that you solve when you're playing Eterna represents a target RNA shape or a set of design requirements. So you design the pattern of the bases that you think will meet those requirements. And every challenge is different. And then they will test what you design in the lab and see if it's an actual viable shape for the RNA. So they'll actually synthesize it. So Eterna players have shown they can beat supercomputers as well as research teams in designing new RNAs. That's huge. Not only are the citizen scientists who do this project, maybe by day they're an accountant or a hairstylist or whatever their job happens to be. I've even had Girl Scouts do this project with me. So people of all ages, really. But by day, you do something else. By night, you volunteer for this project. You might even be smarter than the Stanford scientists and make more novel designs that they didn't synthesize in the lab. So in summary, you solve puzzles, you get some feedback, you can write papers and invent medicine. I think it's cool. That's what the experiments look like. That's what the player designed RNA looks like. I want to show, the video went away. That's fine. I wanted to show the demo, and you can also do it with the community. So we won't have time to really do the project together today, but let's say if any of you are part of a community group, or if you're an educator, or like if you just have teams of people in your life who you want to pit against each other and have them compete to see who can design the most RNA, you can have them do that and keep points and keep score. I know I like gamifying things, so it's a lot of fun. And if you want to try it, I'm just going to exit the slideshow real quick. You can go to the scistarter.org/education page. And then just scroll down. This is the one, I picked this one because I really like the instructions. It's very accessible. I know we don't have any students in the room, but I think we're all lifelong learners, so it helps and explains step by step how you can get started and where you can go to either access the website or the Eterna app and start building these things. So this is the website. What is the website? Yeah, it's just the Eterna project. So let's see what it looks like in the iOS store. Yeah, just this little icon. Like it's like the 4 bases right there. Yep, that's right. And then let's see what projects they have going on right now. And it's really cool. It's appeared in all sorts of different places. So in terms of, this is interesting. So they still have the open vaccine challenge going on related to COVID. They have the open CRISPR challenge to make gene editing smarter and safer. This one is for smart materials and medicine. So they're trying to synthesize better medicines by solving these puzzles. And yeah, that's the basic premise of the Eterna project. If we wanted to play now, I think I can show a quick demo. It's loading the game. So you can see it gives you a shape and then you match the bases up based on certain instructions. So let's get started. This entire structure is RNA. Each circle represents a chemical subunit known as a base. Sometimes the circles can connect to make base pairs. The toolbar at the bottom of the screen will contain many of the tools we use. You can hover over a button to see what it is. And there are the 4 bases: adenine, uracil, guanine, and cytosine. And then you have the objectives of the puzzle. So the puzzle might give you prompts like, hey, we want 4 of this base or 4 of that base. And if you don't satisfy the objectives, your puzzle won't advance. But yeah, so that's the basic premise. And then you move the bases to compete and you try to make them pair. And yeah, any questions about Eterna or about citizen science generally? Yeah. Yeah, so they take the designs that you make with the puzzles and they synthesize them in the lab. They had a picture. Yeah, synthesis and experiments. So you design the RNA, the best designs get voted on. then they get synthesized, and then you have new medicines or things like that. Oh wow. Well, the other Caroline, our genealogy librarian, she can get you all up to speed on how to get down deep into your genetics for sure. Yeah, take anything on the table except for my stamp and my gator pen. That's right. No, they just do this for people who like want to have it as a hobby to do puzzles, you know? Yeah. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Cool. Well, that was today's program. We have a survey if anybody's interested. I'll skip to the end. And if you post about today's event with hashtag 1 million acts of science, you'll get showcased on our wall of fame. So you can post on Instagram or Twitter/X, and we'll be pulling those in to brag about you and celebrate you on the web. Cool. Well, thanks for coming out today, everybody. Yay! All right, friends on Zoom, we're gonna hang up unless you have any burning questions.